On behalf of the University of Strathclyde, I'd like to extend a very warm welcome to you to this congregation for the conferment of degrees. Today is a day of celebration in the university because it's a graduation day. And celebrating, we have our graduands who are in front of me and behind of me, and they will soon become graduates, and all the family and friends that are here to see that, as well as all the staff of the university. Now, in a few moments, it will be my privilege to cap each of our graduands as their name is called out and they come up before me. I shall place the graduation cap upon their head, thereby conferring their degree. And the capping tradition, that goes back to ancient China, where it is recognised as a rite of passage and as a mark of achievement. And for each of our graduates once capped, this also signifies that they are now part of a community of scholars at the University of Strathclyde that can stretch back over 200 years to the Scottish Enlightenment. At the start of this afternoon's proceedings, we also have the conferment of 2 honorary degrees. And these are awards that are made by the university to recognise the particular contributions and achievements that individuals have made in their career. And as part of that conferment, we will get a narration of those contributions read out to us. At the close of graduation, we have a reception in our nearby Learning and Teaching building to which everyone is invited to come along and to have some refreshments and celebrate. We hope to have an academic procession from the barony to the reception, and hopefully all our newest graduates will be able to join that procession. It will very much depend upon the weather, and we'll get an update on that towards the end of this afternoon's proceedings. But I think so far the weather is looking good. In the meantime, I do want you to enjoy the proceedings, and when you see your loved one come up on stage to receive their award, please feel free to celebrate, to make a little bit of noise. These occasions do not come round very often, so make the most of it. I now formally declare that this congregation for the conferment of degrees is open, and I invite Professor Tariq Jarani to present our first honorary graduate to receive his award. Thank you.
Mr. Vice Principal, I have the honor to present to you Dr. John Anderson. Dr. John Anderson is president of perhaps the world's most illustrious learned society of engineers, the U.S. National Academy of Engineering, based in Washington, D.C. Through his exemplary leadership, Dr. Anderson has widened the scope of the National Academy by addressing worldwide engineering challenges, promoting the profession, attracting the most eminent engineers from across the world to its fold. For an engineer, recognition as a member of the U.S. National Academy of Engineering is seen as the ultimate accolade. His leadership at the National Academy of Engineering has ensured that the guiding themes of the Academy programs offer answers to the world's most pressing issues, including the urgency of climate change solutions, the future of engineering, international outlook for sustainable energy, engineering for inevitable surprises, and more. He has provided transformational leadership of the Academy, extending its reach, and in partnership with other national academies, the Royal Academy of Engineering and the Chinese Academy of Engineering in particular, has promoted powerful vehicles for global development of the engineering profession and the promotion of young engineers and entrepreneurs. Dr. Anderson has a long and exemplary record of leadership of this high-prestige international agency and major U.S. academic institutions. He was appointed President of the U.S. National Academy of Engineering in 2019 for a 6-year term. Dr. Anderson received his BS in Chemical Engineering in 1967 from the University of Delaware and an MSc and PhD in 1971, both in Chemical Engineering from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. Dr. Anderson's research interests cover electrokinetic phenomena, electrophoresis of complex particles, transport in porous media, gels, membrane separations. He has published extensively in prestigious journals and international conferences with over 100 papers to his name. He was elected to the National Academy of Engineering in 1992 for contributions to the understanding of colloidal hydrodynamics and membrane transport phenomenon. Following his PhD, Dr. Anderson joined Cornell University, where he served as assistant professor of chemical engineering for 5 years. In 1976, Dr. Anderson moved to Carnegie Mellon University, where he stayed for 28 years, rising to the position of the Dean of Engineering in 1996, which he served for 8 years before leaving Carnegie Mellon in 2004 to become the Provost, University Vice President, and Professor of Chemical Engineering at Case Western Reserve University. He moved from Case Western Reserve in 2007 when he was appointed President and Professor of Chemical Engineering at the Illinois Institute of Technology, where he served for 8 years. Throughout his career, Dr. Anderson has paid particular attention to the importance of engaging internationally to share knowledge, collaborate, and promote understanding of systems thinking to advance the impact of engineering across the globe. In 2014, President Obama appointed him to the National Science Board, where he remained till 2020. The National Science Board advises the President and Congress on science and engineering policy, research and education issues. Dr. Anderson has held visiting professorship appointments at MIT, University of Melbourne, Australia, and Wageningen University in the Netherlands. He has received honorary degrees from the Illinois Institute of Technology, Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, University of Delaware, and Case Western Reserve University. This year, he was elected honorary academician of the prestigious Academia Sinica, Taiwan's National Academy. Dr. Anderson has a close working relationship with our principal, Sir Jim McDonald, in his capacity as president of the Royal Academy of Engineering, and has co-chaired and shared speaking platforms with him in international conferences, including the Global Grand Challenges Summit series involving the US, UK, and China. He has supported engineering activities worldwide, and in the context of Strathclyde, he gave a keynote address remotely at the prestigious Inter-Academy International Workshop on Future Communications and 6G held at Strathclyde in June 2024. Dr. Anderson has been a judge for the celebrated Queen Elizabeth Prize for Engineering, administered by the Royal Academy of Engineering, and our principal is a trustee of the QEP Foundation. Dr. Anderson has promoted a number of joint projects between the USNAE and the Royal Academy of Engineering, such as the Forum on Complex Unifiable Systems, called FOCUS, which explores the frontiers of complexity in health, security, democracy, urbanization and infrastructure, research and education, the economy, transportation, the environment, and civic life. He will continue to encourage links with the U.S. National Academy of Engineering and other academic institutions in the U.S. With his impressive service and contributions to society internationally at several levels, Dr. Anderson is eminently worthy of an honorary degree from Strathclyde, and it would be especially apt to recognize Dr. Anderson in the 60th anniversary year of our university with the perfect name for an honorary Strathclyde graduate. It gives me great pleasure, Mr. Vice Principal, that with the authority of Senate, I ask you to confer upon Dr. Anderson the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa.
I create you Doctor of Science, honoris causa. Many congratulations and welcome to the university.
Thank you. Thank you.
When you get an introduction like that, you can't believe that they're talking about you. But thank you very much, Tariq, for a very generous introduction. Congratulations to all the graduands, soon-to-be graduates of the university, and even congratulations to the family members, especially the parents. Being a parent myself, I know what it takes. So congratulations, you've done a great job here. I'm deeply honored to receive my honorary degree here along with the other graduates of the university. Now, there's a rumor going around that I'm related to the John Anderson that founded the university. And I thought maybe that's why I was elected to this. But no, that's not true. There's a lot of John Andersons in the world, but I do feel good about having the same name. The original John Anderson of Glasgow was a natural philosopher, now called a scientist, who upon his death in 1796 bequeathed his property to form the school in Glasgow devoted to useful learning for the good of mankind. It was called Anderson's Institution, or Andersonian University, and this institution evolved into the University of Strathclyde in 1964, the same year as the U.S. National Academy of Engineering was formed. So we have another connection here. I feel a spiritual kinship to this university, and I also know Sir Jim McDonald very well, and we've worked together, so it's a real pleasure to be here. I address the graduating students with the following remarks. The Danish philosopher Søren Kierkegaard said, "Life can only be understood backwards, but must be lived forward." Life can only be understood backwards, but must be lived forward. If my life, I found that to be true. As I look back over the past 7 decades of my life, I could not have predicted my path to the current day. Over time, my aspirations changed, my life experiences caused me to take a trajectory that was unimaginable when I was younger. I came from a working class family. Neither of my parents got past the 8th grade in high school and junior high school in the States. They were children of immigrants, and they were loving parents, but not much help in navigating the educational and professional challenges that lay before me. I embraced experiential learning, but listened to those senior to me. This is a message for the graduates. For they had, the people who came before me, the seniors, they had seen and experienced things beyond my limits. Every time I reached a goal, I set a higher goal. I had great mentors, individuals who imparted wisdom not found in books. I took one step at a time, believing that if one does a good job at the task at hand, she or he will be asked to do more and be rewarded for it. And I failed periodically and made mistakes. Failing is a great teacher if you learn from your mistakes and you don't repeat them. Career and life are determined by opening doors, as you will find out, graduates. Opening doors to education, profession, human relationships. When we come to a door in life, we are not sure what's on the other side of it. Think of a career as a series of doors. Each one leads to a new opportunity and perhaps a challenge you never faced before. How do I know that I can do what is required in this new job or in this new situation? Going through the door often takes courage. Graduating students, I encourage you to walk through those doors, believe in yourself, and I know if you do that, you will have what it takes. Let me close. This is the most welcoming phrase in any talk, by the way, by emphasizing the importance of respect. Respect for our parents, loved ones, respect for the university that provided our educational foundation, respect for our mentors who guided us with wise advice. Any successful person has many people to thank, and to paraphrase Sir Isaac Newton, we stand on the shoulders of those who came before us. Give back to the university that provided you such a good, useful education so future generations can experience what you did. And stay optimistic, for there is much to be optimistic about, even in the face of those pundits who only stress the negatives. Life is good, and you graduates will make it even better. I wish you, the graduating students, success and happiness as you embark on the great adventures of life. It will be fun. Thank you.
Vice Principal, I have the honour to present to you Professor Albert Youvati. Professor Albert Youvati, known to friends and colleagues as Al, is recognised across the globe as a world-leading and renowned academic cardiothoracic surgeon. He's had tremendous impact within his field of medicine, and the University of Strathclyde is incredibly honoured to be linked with him and to welcome him here at the Barony Hall to celebrate his achievements, successes, and his commitment to both educational and clinical excellence. Professor Youvati graduated in 1986 from the University of North Texas Health Science Center, Texas College of Osteopathic Medicine. He's been saving lives for nearly 40 years, which is quite incredible for someone who his school teachers told in the 1960s in Pennsylvania they said he would never amount to anything. In fact, Professor Youvati's career took him all over the United States of America and indeed the world, but has spent many years back in Texas where, in private practice, some years after completing his surgical training, found himself operating to save the life of one of the founders of Texas College of Osteopathic Medicine, and a year later, his own dean of college. Professor Youvati became a specialist and expert known internationally for several surgical procedures being sought by patients all over the world for his treatment. Just as one example, in 2012, he pioneered a surgical breakthrough, the xiphoid. He became the first surgeon in the world to identify the xiphoid process, a cartilage structure at the tip of the breastbone, a source of mysterious pain for many patients following heart surgery, and to fix it. Al Youvati is the only person to win all 3 of the American College of Osteopathic Surgeon awards, including the most coveted Orel F. Martin Medal, awarded to someone who has made outstanding contributions to the osteopathic profession, as well as the Mary E. LaBelle Distinguished Service Award for individuals who have demonstrated exceptional personal commitment and long-standing dedication to the advancement of osteopathic medicine. One of the key traits of Professor Youvati is his dedication to the student experience and journey, which is interlaced with a strive for both academic excellence and an acknowledgement of the realities and challenges that life can throw at you. This can be seen in his two soon-to-be 3 books, which he describes in his own words as the influence the fates have had on weaving, cutting, and tying the threads of his life. Professor Youvati draws upon his own experiences, both from his illustrious professional career to transitioning as a caregiver to his wife Sharon after her acute thrombotic stroke, and later as a patient himself to his own battle with multiple myeloma, an incurable cancer. He has turned these personal challenges into a transition to become an author, to inspire the next generation of students. In fact, he gives a copy of one of his books to every medical student who's coming in to the University of North Texas. That was 250 students just in August past. Al made his connections to the University of Strathclyde 18 years ago. The initial link was through our now emeritus professor, Terry Gourley, previous head of Biomedical Engineering, who met Al in San Antonio over shared interest and expertise in blood filtration. Al has held a visiting professorship in Biomedical Engineering here at Strathclyde since 2018, and we are delighted that this relationship and the broader collaboration with the University of North Texas continue to grow and develop. Al Youvati's commitment to medical education, research, and clinical impact echoes strongly with the very foundations of the University of Strathclyde. Our founder, John Anderson, as opposed to the John Anderson who we just heard speaking, but we heard about in the previous speeches, had left instructions in his will, which included the famous aim of being a place of useful learning, but also that a medical faculty should be established here, which was indeed established in 1800, eventually becoming known as the Anderson's College Medical School, which many years later merged with the medical faculty in the University of Glasgow in 1947. Around 10 years later, Biomedical Engineering at Strathclyde was established in the early 1960s by Professor Robert Kennedy, who, through the first major grant awarded to a non-medical school from the UK's Medical Research Council, dedicated the first dedicated department of biomedical engineering in the world. As a department and a university, we are indebted to world-class clinicians such as Al in enabling our university to remain at the forefront of biomedical education, medical-related research, and with a focus on impact and improving the life of patients. As well as being a distinguished surgeon, Al and his wife Sharon, who celebrated 50 years marriage this year, are generous philanthropists committed to the advancement of education. One beneficiary of their generosity is a current Strathclyde student who's receiving the Urvati Scholarship, supporting her through her degree, who's with us today. Al and Sharon have also provided a legacy gift that will fund a Urvati chair in biomedical engineering and scholarships to support further students. We celebrate the tremendous contributions of Professor Albert Urvati to the field of medicine and acknowledge our gratitude to be an institution who is a recipient of his expertise, wisdom, kindness, and generosity. It is therefore with great pleasure, Vice Principal, that with the authority of Senate, I ask that you confer upon Professor Albert Urvati the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa.
I create you Doctor of Science, honoris causa. Many congratulations and welcome back to the university.
Thank you, sir. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Professor Stewart, for those nice words. And thank you for allowing a Texan in your hallowed halls, okay? This is fantastic. You have such a wonderful venue here at the university. As stated, it started the journey many years ago, about 18 years ago. When I first stepped foot on this campus, there seemed to be a connection. Now, certainly I'm not of Scottish heritage, no Scottish name, but Sharon and I have Scottish full kittens, so perhaps maybe that's the connection. But I've always felt coming over here over the years, collaborating has just been tremendous. I want to tell the students something very important. Today you graduate, but remember there's other members out there that will help you. I have a golden thread in my life that was woven by the fates, and that was Sharon. In 1973, I met her in the United States Army. We were both on active duty, and we were doing combat medic course. At that time, the Women's Army Corps was being disbanded, and women were being integrated into the regular Army. So here I am in San Antonio, and sitting next to me is this lovely blonde young lady from Southern California. I was absolutely smitten by her. So we had a few dates, and one evening at a date on post, Sharon said, "What do you want to do with your life?" I said, "I don't know, probably do 20 years in the Army, become a paramedic." She goes, "No, that's not acceptable." I said, "Excuse me?" She goes, "You need to go to medical school and be a doctor." I said, "I don't know, Sharon. Everyone told me I'm not smart enough and I'm not going to be able to do it." And she said, "If you're not committed to do that, I won't marry you." Well, needless to say, August 31st, 2024, we celebrated our 50th anniversary. So I guess she was right. Thank you. Yes, I appreciate it. Now, the significance of that is that heart surgeons are like footballers. They go through a lot of wives. So I'm very fortunate to have the same wife all these years. It's certainly unusual as a heart surgeon. I think the other thing is keep your connection to family. I'm so blessed to have my niece, Laura Thomas, here, who came from the state of Washington. She's the director for the city of Duval. She's also the executor of our estate. And I wanted her to come here and visit the university and meet Hannah and development and everybody and get a feel for the university. Yesterday we were up at the laboratories and at Wolfson, and she said, I think you're making a great investment, and she's 100% for it. The other thing is I have a good friend here, Mark Alinas. Mark and I were Army veterans. Mark is a CEO of a consulting firm for medical oncology groups, and he's a good friend. There are a couple of events that occurred in my life after major surgeries that he actually saved my life. One, I went into acute congestive heart failure after surgery. He got me to the ER, to the hospital, got my life saved. Another time, my adrenal glands shut down, and I was not doing well. My blood pressure was 60. I was hypothermic, incoherent, and he got me to the emergency room, and the emergency room doctor wasn't really responding. So he picks up the phone and he calls my dean, who's my primary care physician. And Frank Filippetto calls in and says to the ER doctor, you didn't graduate from my medical school, did you? He said, because you need to give him some freaking steroids. Now, Frank is from New Jersey. He used other words that I can't repeat here. But certainly, they saved my life or I wouldn't be here, okay? So I want that. The other thing I want to say is this is such an honor, but today is not my day. Today I'm here to share, and I appreciate you sharing this stage with me. This is your day, the students. You're the students who spend hours and hours studying, examination after examination, course after course, to fill in all the records to meet the requirements for your degree. Some of you had research projects to come up with a hypothesis, come through specific aims, methodology, findings, conclusions, and then the worst part is those citations, references, having been in the correct format. Well, you did it, and you got signed off by your faculty. So that's important. So I want to kind of move a little bit and tell you what I want. And here's what I expect from you. When you leave here and go to your home or your flat, oh, by the way, you'll probably go by the pub for a pint or two, I want you to stand in front of the mirror. And I want you to hold up that cylinder with your parchment and say, I did this. I accomplished this. This is a milestone in my life. This is the first thing that will give you 1,000 opportunities within your life. And as a place of useful learning, we expect that. The next thing I want you to do is I want you to turn to the left. I want you to thank your family, friends, significant others for everything they gave to you psychologically, mentally, physically, and of course financially to get you here. Don't forget to thank them for the sacrifices. The next thing I want you to do is turn to the right. And I want you to thank the staff and faculty at Strathclyde. Let me tell you about the staff. Everybody forgets about them, but they're behind the scenes doing everything, put everything in order. They lined you up, had you sign up, made sure grades and everything. Everything was up for you to be here. Oh, by the way, they just through my hearing aid sent me a message and said, make sure the students turn in their regalia or they will receive a 400-pound invoice from the university. So don't forget to give your regalia back. The faculty who transfer their knowledge to you, they challenge you and they want you to take what they taught you, what you came up with, and go further. That's the challenge. The final thing is I want you to look behind you. I want you to look at the hallowed halls of Strathclyde. And I want you to look at the future about giving. And it may be 1 pound with a 0, 1 pound, 2 zeros, 1 pound, 3, but hopefully in the future it's 1 pound with many zeros to give back to this university, for sustaining and also for students. So students who follow you will be able to have the same opportunity, okay? So those are the things that I wanted to leave with you and tell you. I thank you very much for allowing me to be on stage here with you. I want to thank Senate and the principal and vice chancellor, and of course, today receiving this degree certainly is a milestone and a pinnacle in my life. And I thank you very much.
Vice Principal, In the name of the University and by the authority of Senate, I present to you these students. For the degree of Doctor of Engineering and Medical Devices, Scott Black. In Applied Photonics, Rachel Cannon. In Non-Destructive Evaluation, Ewan Alexander Nicholson. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy for Research in the Department of Biomedical Engineering, Ezra Adel-Deal. Sarah Jane Day. Chili Sagir. For research in the Department of Chemical and Process Engineering, Mohammed Ahmed Al-Bashir Abashata. Mays Ismat Asad Al-Aditli. Mohammed Ali Haider Farouk. Layla Parsons. Georgia Zanzawadou. For research in the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering, Marta Kalabova. Christopher James McMahon. Magdalena Radeva Rekova. Francesca Rossi. Francesca Turchetti. For research in the Department of Electronic and Electrical Engineering, Amy Anderson. Rebecca Hall. Aaron Scott Colvin Leary. Jae-Yoon Wang. Timothy Ting Hin Wong. For the degree of Master of Science in Biomedical Engineering, Sarah Isabel Delahunt. Stuart Fisher. Nitin Moses Satish. In Biomedical Engineering with Biomechanics, Rolf Magnus Forrestel Gruner-Hegger. Bruno Alejandro Orsatti Sanchez. Shivani Rajath Rao. Paige Alana May Stevenson. Savarin Sukon Panic. Mathilde Sabine Brunel Tardif. Supicha Thung Saputi. In Biomedical Engineering with Cell and Tissue Engineering, George Daljit Templeton Bradshaw. Wanwali Chomkwa. Janakan Dason Senavrithne Madiyan Salaga Welakonawata de Gadara. Lorna Harriet Merritt. In Orthotics Rehabilitation Studies, David Barati. In Prosthetics and Orthotics, Godwin Chinedu Amuchi. Madhushani Sumudu Sandareka Hinawata Gadara. Mohit Patel. In Prosthetics and Orthotics Rehabilitation Studies, Mohammed Alam. In Rehabilitation Studies, Oluchi Esther Dimanaru. In Advanced Chemical and Process Engineering, Sarah Arif. In Advanced Chemical Engineering, Ibrahim El Rafai. Folusho Michael Allo. Jack William Arnold. Raymond Savion de Souza. Jai Ganesh Dili Babu. Francis Adeki. Shivam Gautam. Mohammed Rayan Gotit. Abdul Salam Rajab Ahmed Matug. Yeswanth Kumar Valetti. In Process Technology and Management, Lars Ibing. Luke Jonathan Shute. In Sustainable Engineering Chemical Processing, Mariana Danila Furtado de Cunha. Deepak Manoj. And Susan Matthew. In Civil Engineering, Tejaswi Dasapati. Connor Nolan. Manswab Sharif. Matthew James Shaw. Hannah Jennifer Strang. In Civil Engineering with Geotechnical Engineering and Project Management, Craig Andrew Jamie Lamb. In Civil Engineering with Structural Engineering and Project Management, Stephen Saver Brito. Sharish Sharma. In Environmental Engineering, Courtney Nicole Moore-Allen. Jean-Marie Forrest Andrew. Precious Ufedo Ataja. Hirad Bamshad. Bassie James Bassie. Elaine Isabel Bramwell. Charles Danker. Harshali Shivaji Dihadre. Rachel Ann Lafferty. Scott Leibnitz. Erin Mills. Michael Allen Watson. In hydrogeology, El Rashid Hamid. Emmanuel Hyaroba Nabala. Puvan Rupra. In Sustainability and Environmental Studies, Catherine Booth. Andy Bryce. Neve Elizabeth Curran. Genevieve Divya David. Rona Eileen Hillis. Faiza Fatima Kilo Raraman. Lada Lukinic. Jasmine Jessica McEwen. Alyssa Marie Matanin. John Luke Hughes McWhirter. Reem Alamin Sanjak Mohammed. Karen O'Hare. Sivaranjani Siva. Rachel Lillian Tripp. Lewis George Angus Trussler McCaskill. In Autonomous Robotic Intelligent Systems, Mohammed Rashdan Mohammed Nur Kalish Bin. In Electrical Power and Energy Systems, Koniwe Makwaleli. Raphael Chibuk Nwobi. In Electronic and Electrical Engineering, Peter Liam Beaton. Paul Ianolu Osinowu. Chailenda Singh Kulnvinder Singh Bansal. Anushka Geetha Wikram Surya Palakutiga. In Future Energy and Power System Operation and Management, Chun Ho. In Machine Learning and Deep Learning, Sulaf Bakru. Mohammed Mustafa Ahmed Shaheen. Gokul Krishna Vijay Kumar Nasari. In Wind Energy Systems, Evan Chu. Hari Priya Setho Aram Uragan. In Renewable Energy and Decarbonisation Technologies, Brian Welsh. For the degree of Master of Engineering in Biomedical Engineering, Naomi Francis. Charlotte Isabel Fraser. Georgina Morris. Beatrice Lumiere Ngakam. In Chemical Engineering, Gregor Thomas Weems. In Civil and Environmental Engineering, Carly McFadden. In Civil Engineering, Fraser Robert Collier. Daniel Hugh Connor. Mitchell Alexander Robert Stevenson. Colin Duncan Taylor. In Computer and Electronic Systems, Joe Friedrich Rutgerus Dirksen. In Electrical and Mechanical Engineering, Tanvi Priyanka Marwaha. Matthew Wheeler. In Electrical Energy Systems, Jake Anderson Malcolm. In Electronic and Electrical Engineering, Aidan O'Riordan. James Staunton West. In Electronic and Electrical Engineering with International Study, Jean-Julien Florideve. For the degree of Bachelor of Engineering in Biomedical Engineering, Lubna Darwish Futi. Abdulaziz Udar. Yasin Dimitros Shopov. Claire Wilkinson. In Chemical Engineering, Abdul Rahman Abdul Baki. Ewan Bright. Fraser James Brotherton. Martin Dargan. Jasmine Hamilton. Chia Cheng Kaur. Adam Lajaj. Rhys Ottaway. In Civil and Environmental Engineering, Dylan Michael Hurley. In Civil Engineering, Grant William Alexander. Al-Azhar Rashid Nasser Al-Maroubi. Rui Carballo. Alessandro Jack Colhoun. Andrew Neil Hamilton. Joe David Hartley. Daniel McGady Hoy. Spiridon Kergio. Marcus Miller Livingston. Cameron McLeod. Jack Logan McPherson. Connor J. McGinley. Cameron Craig McIntosh. Callum Morton. Dominic Nicholas Munro. Liam Story. Jodie Louise Story. Glenn Verney. In Computer and Electronic Systems, Yaston Aziz Hematli. Max Marek Mierzek. Ewan John Sampson Murray. Jack Smith. In Electrical and Mechanical Engineering, Harith Al-Dulaimi. David Thomas Flynn. Aaron Chanchi Jin. David William Scott. Basit Ali Sayed. For the degree of postgraduate diploma in prosthetics and orthotics rehabilitation studies, Shubham Agrawal.
Sorry, Greg. Scott Cochran.
Okay. For the degree in electronic and electrical engineering, Greg Scott Cochran. For the degree of postgraduate diploma in prosthetics and orthotics rehabilitation studies, Shubham Agrawal. No? Not that one again. Okay, we'll try again. In electronic and electrical engineering, Zohir Jadella. Grace. Surname? Oh, the one over the page. Got it. For the degree of postgraduate diploma in rehabilitation studies, Grace Ogonia Along. That's okay. These things happen. We have a few more.
3 extras.
3 extras. For the degree of Master of Science in Electronic and Electrical Engineering, David David Adebayo. For the degree of Master of Engineering in Civil Engineering, Gervais Toby Hamani. For the degree of Postgraduate Diploma in Sustainability and Environmental Studies, Suwait Gabriselassie Brani.
Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, and most of all, Strathclyde University's newest graduates, it's my pleasure to once again warmly welcome you to this congregation. All of our graduates have been centre stage, and I would like to begin my address by congratulating all of you once again on your achievements. All of your hard work has paid off, and this has now been recognised in front of your family, friends, and the staff who taught and supported you during your time at the university. Let's all give our autumn graduates of 2024 a big round of applause. So, you're graduating in 2024, which is also our Diamond Jubilee anniversary year, marking 60 years since the award of our Royal Charter from the late Queen Elizabeth II. Through this Royal Charter, the Royal College of Science and Technology joined with the Scottish College of Commerce to become the University of Strathclyde in 1964, the first university to be established in Scotland for almost 400 years. And as graduates of this university, you now join such esteemed company as David Livingstone, the missionary and explorer, John Logie Baird, who invented television, Dame Eilish Angelini, Scotland's first female Lord Advocate, Helen Liddell and Baroness Annabel Goldie, leading Scottish politicians, and the entrepreneur and philanthropist Sir Tom Hunter. Now today, we are celebrating your achievements, and we recognise that each of you will have benefited from the active support of your families, friends and supporters, and academically through your lecturers, tutors and supervisors. And for the last half hour or so, their applause has rung in your ears as you each cross the stage to receive your awards. I would now like to invite all of our new graduates to show their appreciation for all the support that they have received from their families and friends. Your success, and in turn our success as a university, is in no small part due to the efforts of our staff who are delivering our vision as a leading international technological university that is socially progressive. You can tell a lot about the values of an organisation just by looking at its roots. Strathclyde University traces its lineage back to 1796, when Anderson brought it into being, the only Scottish university founded during the Age of Enlightenment and embodying the Enlightenment principles of reason, tolerance and equality. Anderson's belief in useful learning and his commitment to taking knowledge and using this for the greater good is the motivating force which gives Strathclyde University its momentum today. Anderson believed in knowledge for the greater good and education for all. And this is what we would call widening access and participation. Strathclyde University is at the forefront of widening access to higher education by welcoming those with the ability to learn, regardless of their personal circumstances. And 20%, around 1,300 of our new students each year, come from the most challenging areas of the country. Our ethos of useful learning continues to be relevant today as we seek new knowledge that we can readily apply to global challenges. We are a research-intensive university determined to make a positive difference to the lives of our students, to society, and to the world. Through our groundbreaking research, we are helping to change the world for the better. Through our scientists and engineers, we are leading the development of innovative technologies that will facilitate the transition from fossil fuels to clean, sustainable energy sources such as wind, solar, geothermal, and hydrogen. We are developing new drugs along with new manufacturing processes that will provide cheaper, more effective treatments in the fight against cancer and inflammatory diseases, whilst also supporting our health services to face the challenges of health and social care and the changing demographics of the 21st century. Through our focus on entrepreneurial education, we are helping students and staff to create new sustainable businesses, as well as supporting economic growth. We're helping to grow Scotland's manufacturing capabilities through the National Manufacturing Institute Scotland, which is hosted by Strathclyde University. In the near future, we'll be establishing another innovation centre, named in honour of one of our most successful alumni, businessman Dr. Charles Wang, who donated £50 million to Strathclyde, an extremely generous gift given in recognition of the role that this university played in his success. £30 million of this gift will be used to expand the Glasgow City Innovation District, allowing more businesses to co-locate with the university and improve productivity, develop world-class talent, research and technology, and accelerate economic growth. The remainder of the gift will enable the creation of 2 professorial chairs, an international entrepreneurship and an international innovation in business, along with support for research and PhD students. Our globally minded students and staff are also working in sustainable development and helping to address some of the inequalities in India, Malawi and the Gambia by establishing clean water supplies, renewable power sources and healthcare facilities. Whilst we understand the value of working in partnership, we extend our global reach with other leading universities, including Stanford, New York University, MIT, and the National University of Singapore. In September, we opened a University of Strathclyde Innovation, Research and Education Hub in Bahrain with our strategic partners S11 Educational, offering a range of programmes across engineering, science and business. As a university, we are continually working to enhance our student experience, investing in our campus as evidenced by our new Learning and Teaching Building and Students' Union, and we are investing in student mental health and wellbeing support services and placing our students at the heart of everything that we do. Our progress in these areas has been recognised in recent years, and we are the only UK university to win the Times Higher Education University of the Year twice. And earlier this year, we received our 4th Queen's Anniversary Award, this time for our leadership in photonics. The UK-wide assessment of research quality amongst the UK's 157 universities and higher education institutions has reported that nearly 90% of Strathclyde's research has been assessed as being world-leading or internationally excellent. Other achievements include the Department of Architecture and the Centre for Net Zero High-Density Buildings, which is assessing building proposals incorporating low-carbon materials, sustainable heating and cooling systems, alongside energy storage technologies to support the drive to reducing carbon emissions from densely populated urban areas. In the Department of Biomedical Engineering, our researchers are playing a key role in developing the next generation of gravitational wave detectors to help astrophysicists probe and model the furthest reaches of the cosmos. Staff from the Department of Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering are involved in drone flight trials between Health Services Lothian and Health Services Border. Live flying between the Edinburgh Bioquarter, which is next to the Royal Infirmary of Edinburgh, and Borders General Hospital in Melrose can reduce the transit time for medical samples from 5 hours to now just 35 minutes. A study involving the Department of Chemical and Process Engineering has uncovered a rare and detailed fossil that provides an insight into earliest ancestors of insects. This fossil dates back over 520 million years to the Cambrian period, when the major animal groups we know today were first evolving. And an international study involving researchers in the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering has found bacterial resistance to antibiotics is present in the atmosphere. This study is the first to test Scotland's environment at a national level for antimicrobial resistance, where microbes, like bacteria, have evolved to resist antimicrobial drugs, leading to the emergence of superbugs such as MRSA. Now, these are just some of the many achievements that have been made by our staff and our students. And Strathclyde is being increasingly recognised as a place where things happen, and this is why our graduates are so highly prized by companies and organisations who are looking to recruit the best talent to drive their businesses forward. Our success is in no small part due to the collective efforts and the commitment of our staff, the 4,000 colleagues who deliver our vision as a leading international technological university. And like me, they are very, very proud of your achievements. All of our students learn how to be innovative, enterprising and creative, and they can make a real difference when they go out into the workplace. So go forth with confidence and with purpose and with the knowledge that you are capable of achieving great things. And wherever your career takes you, always remember that as a Strathclyde graduate, useful learning carries with it responsibilities that go beyond academic scholarship. And finally, let me offer my sincerest congratulations to you all once again on your achievements, and I hope that you enjoy the remainder of what is a very special day. Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that now concludes the formal part of this afternoon's proceedings, which I hope you've enjoyed and that you're going to take away very many happy memories of a wonderful event. I would remind you that we do have a reception that we're all invited to, and I'm looking at the back of the hall and I've got the time-honoured thumbs up sign, which means the rain has stayed off. So we are going to have an academic procession from the Barney up to the reception. And I'll invite Strathclyde's newest graduates to join that procession. And ladies and gentlemen, if I could ask for you to remain in the hall until the academic procession passes and then immediately follow us up to the reception, and we shall see you there for some refreshments. I now formally declare that this congregation for the conferment of degrees is closed.